we have another painting disaster. I know I got a little paint on my face, but who cares? If you're gonna do it yourself, please do it right. Let me show you a nightmare. I mean, I've taped it already, but you can see the reason why I taped it. I'm gonna show you a homeowner who tried to do it himself and failed. So we're in a window, plantation shutters on the outside. Okay, we're in a stairwell. You come up the steps. And I mean, look at this disaster. Looks like an EKG of a half dead man. Okay, look at this. Look at this mess. Hey guys, do you folks need wallpaper? Well, let me just tell you about my friend at wallpaperboulevard.com. They will give you 10% off at checkout if you use my hashtag Spencer Colgan as wallpaper. So if you need any wallpaper, please go to www.wallpaperboulevard.com. And if you find something you like, tell them Spencer Colgan sent you and use my hashtag, and they'll be sure to give you your discount at checkout. Thanks for watching. Please click on like and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get back to the video. Now look on the sides before I look at the mess we're dealing with here. Look at the crooked line. Now I caulked it, but I didn't caulk this one. Look at that mess. I mean, to me, I could not live with that. I'm telling you the truth, I couldn't live with that. So what we do is we exceed the error by finding the point at which the error is greatest. So we go from the top to the bottom and we find out where is the point at which the paint has exceeded all reasonable excuses for being acceptable. This is the point at which the paint comes out onto the framing of the window the most. And that is the guide by which we determine where our green edge will fall. Because if we went here, we would go up, and we would be covering this error. And then when we pulled our tape away, we would have this showing. And so we have to exceed the error so that we can fill this in. And then we want to seal this disaster. By putting caulking in it. Okay. By the way, do you know who invented caulking? Caulking was invented, I don't know. I'm only kidding. I couldn't care less who invented it, but I will say this. Pretty good invention, right? What do you think the greatest invention was in human history? I'm gonna argue. Now you might say it's a cell phone. I've always maintained it was the airplane. Can you imagine, 200 years ago, people even thinking that we could buzz around the air and eat while we're up there and sleep? Okay, now I want to show you a way to use the ladder that I'm using in a stairwell. Now, don't do this alone. Do this with the help of another person, what I'm about to show you with this ladder. One of the sides of this ladder will extend, and the other will be suspended higher, so that the one that is higher will go on the higher step, and the one that is lower will go on the lower step down into the stairwell, giving me a level platform on which I can do this work, which is 4 steps down from a multi-step staircase, okay? A task that is somewhat dangerous, but we respond with a ladder in the stairwell that will accommodate the angle of the staircase. Okay? I'll continue to caulk, and you can relax and enjoy the video. So, I'm not going to do this alone, except for this part of the video. I'm in a stairwell. Look, the best paint job is not worth your safety. This is what I'm talking about. As the staircase descends, this part of the ladder where it descends is lower. This part is higher because you can adjust these fasteners here. These go in and hold this part of the ladder shorter, and obviously you can do your work on an incline. So, but it does add to the danger of the job. So while I go off video, I'm going to have my helper, because I have my stairs all covered with paper. Not a good source of traction, you would agree, with rubber on the bottoms of the ladder. The paper can slide, therefore your ladder can slide. Don't do this alone. Please do it with safety in mind. Have another person there helping you. If you're disputing with your spouse, I would recommend that you have somebody other than your spouse hold it, since your spouse can let go of the ladder. But anyway, have somebody you really get along with hold the ladder. Okay, we'll see you on the next frame. I love painting. My cameraman just, and he's from Hawaii, as you know, he just asked me, how long does it take for caulking to dry? And I said, that's a great question. 30 minutes, you're done. 30 minutes. I'm going to show you my cameraman after I do this. With his permission, I'll show you him.
That's fine.
Oh no?
Oh no, what?
Don't show you?
No, I said that's fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, cool. I get it, because I said if it's okay with him. Okay.
You'll see that I'm not actually a huge Samoan dude.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is real. This is real. You know, putting it on real. Yeah, taking chances here. So when I do stuff like this, I like to talk to people about things that are important in life. When I was a kid in the 8th grade, in 1993, there was a song that was popular. Do you know where you're going to? Do you like the things that life is showing you? Where are you going to? Do you know? Do you get what you're hoping for? That's all I know. That's all I remember. Does anybody like my singing? Some of you may know I have a lot of new subscribers in the last month. People for whom I'm grateful. But many of you don't know I was scouted by talent people looking for people to go on America's Got Talent. You know, the, is that what it's called? America's Got Talent? Yeah. So, you know, because I'm a tenor, believe it or not. And so I had to make a choice between hitting it big and being a wallpaper hanger. I chose the career in wallpaper hanging because I love pennants. First of all, I really enjoy pennants. And I don't want to enjoy my life too much, becoming famous and rich and all of that. So I chose this, which I find more gratifying. When I was a police officer in 1989, let's just say it was in Manhattan, in an auditorium. since the legal division of the bureau, the agency for which I worked, will send me a letter and say, you can't identify yourself as a former employee. Okay. So let's just say I was in an auditorium in Manhattan, in a classroom setting. Get it? And these kids got me in trouble, these other students. It got around that I do good imitations. Like I've been asked to do the voice for Christopher Walken on some of his movies, and I turned that down because I don't want to be well known, and I don't want to be known for my talents in that regard. I don't want to live a life of dissipation, fame, and fortune. I've seen what happens in Hollywood. I just don't want that. Anyway, these guys said, hey, Spencer Colgan does great imitations of the instructors while we're in the locker room. Get him down here. We were graduating the police academy, and it was past what they call gun and shield day. Now you were a cop, but you didn't graduate yet, so you still had to watch your mouth and your behavior, you know? What I mean by that is you couldn't have an issue with one of the instructors. They could still get you in trouble, okay? So here I am, minding my business, sitting in the classroom of Mike Wilson, and in comes one of the gym instructors named Richie Malik. He says, hey, really nice guy. Really handsome, well, you know, like, guy was in great shape. He was a gym instructor. So he says, hey. And it was so hard to resist because I hate saying no to nice people. Because I honestly would have said no. He said, hey, listen, we heard that you can do imitations. And I said, no, please. He goes, no, please listen. Come down. Do the gym block. Imitate whoever you want and just make us laugh. And I said, I don't do this. You can't ask me to do it. I just do it naturally. I'm not going to do well. Please don't ask me. He urges me. Again, very hard to say no to people. It's a weakness. I think it's pride because instead of holding my ground, you know, we like to couch everything in virtue. I said yes. Because I guess I didn't want to let him down about his confidence in me. So I think that's more pride than being like, you know, humble. So anyway, I said, all right. And I'm hoping I don't fail. So I go down to now the gym was a gymnasium where each class had about, 30 students. So you figure 90 students are on the gym floor. And I get up and I imitate this guy, Jimmy Smith. He's a police academy instructor. And he used to speak like this: when you get out there, you don't want to telegraph your attention when you're looking at a bad guy. So I get up there and I say this stuff. Now, Jimmy Smith was well built, you know, the guy, all he did was play handball in the gym, and then he would teach for 3 hours, and the rest of the day was his. It's the truth. But he did a good job. So he would tell us how to do hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. So here I am imitating this veteran police officer. He was a detective. And he used to get us into line by saying, 10 hot right, hey, and he would do all of these things that you couldn't understand. So I get up there, I start doing it, so the class starts rolling laughter. So I got comfortable right away, you know. I got comfortable in the setting. So I start going into other instructors, like this guy, Harry, I forget his name, but let me tell you something, he was out to lunch. And he was my personal gym instructor. Like, he was the guy. And he would give us commands. And then, now I'm exaggerating slightly. He would give us commands and then change his mind. Like, he would find a better command. Like, he'd say, so in the military, you go, right, hey! So that means turn to the right. But so I get up there and I do Harry, whatever his name was. No, I think it was Officer Harold. I honestly forget. I don't know what his name was. So I said, right, Hayes. No, you know what? Left, Hayes. And everybody was hysterical laughing. Because in the military, that's like a movie. You would never do that in your commands. Like, change your command. It's like telling somebody, stand up. And then you say, disregard. At ease. You know, something ridiculous. So he's down there. Anyway, I wound up having a ball. And the funny part about it was, for years, I was known as the guy who got up and did the imitations in the police academy. Because what happened was, when they send you to details in Manhattan, like the New Year's Eve detail and everything else, guys would see you 3-4 years after you got out of the police academy and say, hey, Spencer, how you doing? And I'm like, I don't know who you are. And so they're like, you're the guy who did the imitations. How you doing? So anyway, that went on, I'd say, for 10 years. And it was, it was pretty cool. Anyway, there was one instructor who didn't like the imitations. I'm going to make that bottom line straight. I just want you to know that bottom line will become straight, just like the rest of them. I thought I could do it, but it's so crooked, it's ridiculous. Anyway, one of them grabs me after my performance. I got a standing ovation, and she decides that she's going to curse at me. She brings me to the bottom of the auditorium. Now, Mike Wilson, he should have gotten in trouble. But he was the one who was laughing hysterically. Anyway, she goes, I don't like what you did. I don't like it. And then she proceeds to call me a name that starts with an A. And it ends with an E. Yeah. And it has $2 in the middle. That's what she called me. And I said, excuse me? Just to give you an idea of how things have changed in civil service, you could never say that today. Get away with it. I said, and I'm standing there just fresh out of college, shaking. Because she's calling me a body part, a vulgar body part. And I said, she said, your brother's a nice guy, but you, I don't know. She's now a PhD. Sociology. Go figure. Anyway, my brother he was the big shot. My brother-in-law said of my brother, who was, he was a police lieutenant when I was a nobody. She said, he's a good guy, but I don't know about you. Anyway, he was like the brains of the family. So my brother-in-law, who married my second eldest sibling, whose name is Teresa, he said of my brother and his wife, my sister, when you were born, he said to his wife, he's not a great intellect. When you were born, you left your brains in your mother and your brother came out with them. I'll never forget that line because when I was a kid, I thought there was some truth to it. Not because of my sister's deficiencies, but because when you tell a kid something like that, he thinks it's possible. Anyway, there was one guy, right? I'll just finish up with this. There was a guy named Paul Harold. He was an academy instructor. And let me tell you something. This guy was a character. Everything he would do, just focus on my face right now. He would go, he would like laugh about everything. And honestly, it was hysterical to watch him. And now when you're in the police academy, you cannot laugh. You cannot laugh. But he was like a little bit of a rebel. You could laugh with him, but if somebody caught you laughing while you were being trained by him, you'd get in trouble. They'd come right up to you, give me 20 sit-ups right now. And you'd have to do them, and you can't grunt or anything. You got to do it. So I remember the first aid that he was teaching us. He taught us first aid. And when you get a cut, depending on the severity of the cut, the gradations of first aid start with something that falls into an acronym called DEPT, Department. And so he said, somebody gets cut out there, you're gonna do direct pressure. That's D. And then if that doesn't work, elevation. So if you got cut, you would put pressure on the wound, elevate it above the heart. He says if that doesn't work, what is DEP? What's P? Direct pressure, elevation. Oh, pressure points. You'll never forget it. Pressure points, wherever the pressure point is here to stop the flow of blood. He said that if that doesn't work, tourniquet, they gotta amputate. And the guy's like laughing about it. Direct pressure, elevation, pressure points, and as a last resort, tourniquet. So, and that guy went on. Actually, he went on to marry a young lady from the police academy. She wound up dying, and she died many years ago. Anyway, let me show you the finish on my tape. Okay. Now to correct my straight line, I have to wait till that dries, and I'll dress it up with a nice straight line. But let's just show you. Try to get the action on this if you can. Okay, put that action right there. There you go. Very nice. See that? And now we have corrected the issue, right? Would you agree? Okay, you can hit the video off and we will show them the final result. So with the exception of my bottom line, which I'll dress up when it dries. Now, I'm not going to come too far out. If the previous painter came out too far, or you see a sticker there that's protruding at the top left of that window, that's a sticker, like whatever, an advertisement. And those two blotches in there, I will cover that up. I don't know what that is, but it has nothing to do with my painting, and it's not previous paint, but it's some garbage there. So that's what we did. We dressed it up, made it look nice. And that's how you correct the errors of the do-it-yourselfer when he's painting a window frame.